Hey YouTube, I just participated in the December 4th Carta Magica Remote Duel Regional, where I got top 4 and earned an invite to Nationals. I used Bird Up, which I believe to be the best deck of the format. Just to preface, I feel this list is far from optimal, as it was limited by both budgetary restrictions and cards that I could get my hands on in time for the event. That being said, this should be a motivating video for anyone who feels held back due to budget. First up, we have the birds. I normally like to break decks down by role, starters, extenders, etc., but I think that's a bit difficult with this deck. We got 3 warbler, 3 sparrow, 3 bird call, 3 canary, 2 swallow, and 1 wagtail. I think these are close to the minimum ratios you can run. 3 warbler and 3 sparrow, because they are your main ways to combo. Canary is the best one on its own and your main source of follow-up. You technically only need 2 canary, usually. 1 for combo turn 1, and 1 for follow-up. But hands can be messy, so you may have to use 1 copy as a body or a keras discard. The 2 swallow and the 1 wagtail could possibly be reversed with 2 wagtail and 1 swallow. And maybe you should do that now that Bird Strike is out, this card can search it. You could also cut these down to 1 each if you aren't running the Oath combo. But normally in that combo I find myself, since I'm banishing 4 for shuraig every turn 1, I normally want to have the second swallow, because the first one's normally banished. If you do go too low on bird numbers though, you should probably have other consistency cards like Prosperity or Small World, or maybe even Jack in the Hand. Next up we have the Pseudobirds, 1 for 1, and 3 Where Art Thou. 1 for 1 is one of the best starters you have. The discard cost may seem bad, especially if it gets negated, and it kind of is bad if it gets negated, but if it doesn't, you're usually doing something like discarding Sparrow or Wagtail, which you'll then just special summon off of the Warbler that you're summoning from the deck with 1 for 1, and that's just a great way to start your combo. The 3 Where Art Thous are good but not great. They let you search basically anything, including hand traps, but the fact that you have to control something makes the card less versatile and prevents you from doing something like search Warbler, inherent special Warbler. You could, however, search Warbler and special it off of Bird Call or even Ferrijit. Still though, the card has some flaws and might be better replaced by Small World or Prosperity. I was initially running Desires in this slot, but there's too many cards in this current build that I don't want to banish. Speaking of banish, now we have the Tribe Engine, 4 fraktall, 3 nerval, 1 keras, 1 kitt. These ratios are quite standard, I think. You max out on fraktall and nerval because they help you combo, 1 each of kitt and keras as you just search them. Next we have the going second cards, 1 Bird Strike, 1 crow, 2 veiler, 1 droll, 3 chalice, and 1 imperm. Bird Strike is so good. I already thought this was the best deck before it released, but it's even better now. It's a searchable pseudo-dark ruler. I'm not sure what else to say. Crow, veiler, and droll all have additional utility, as being level 1s means you can make any of your Xyzes with them. Crow especially, since it's a winged beast that's searchable in multiple ways, can be summoned off Swallow, pitched for keras, or banished for a tribe effect. All of these are also searchable off of Where Art Thou. Droll's at 1 because it's a blowout in some matchups, but also dead in others. At 1 it's a body in matchups where it's dead, but you'd never want to see a second or you'd just lose most likely. It might be better off-sided though, still. The 3 chalice and the imperm are similar. Both are good going first as well, which was what I wanted for all of my main deck go second techs. Imperm is better sometimes, as you could use it on their turn, but Chalice has additional utility as being activatable while you have a monster on board, or used in damage step comes up sometimes. Next, the one called by. Broken card, I'd run 5 of it if I could. Finally, the engine requirements. So I couldn't get my hands on an Apex Avian in time for the event, which is why I'm running these. You prefer Avian to statue generally, as the board has no other spell trap negates, and ensemblue does the same job pretty well. Ensemblue functions as a better statue in the mirror or against Flunder, where at least it can float. Oath, I might side if I had Avian, as one spell trap negate is usually enough until they side their rulers and droplets. Onto the extra deck, we have 3 Recital, 1 Utopic Future, 1 Utopic Draco Future, 2 Shuraig, 1 Ferrijit, 1 simorgh, 1 double Dragonlords, 1 Ensemblue, 1 Assembled Nightingale, 1 Zeus, 1 Downerd, and 1 almiraj. Most of this is very standard, so I won't talk about all of it. 2 Shuraig, because the Oath combo makes 1 turn 1 for a search, and you still want 1 for follow-up. Recital could be cut to 2, but it's just so useful, and the third one comes up pretty often. I think 3 is worth running. Downerd isn't always necessary, but it does add another proc to Zeus in lots of situations, so I think that's worth it. Finally, Almiraj is there for clearing a spot on your board, or for linking away a normal summon nerval or kitt to get you started in very bad hands. I've never made Almiraj a single time. I haven't been running the deck for very long, but I've played enough matches that I think it should have come up by now if it was worth running. I plan to cut it for another Zeus. Other cards worth considering are Doom Eagle, Access Code, and Appaloosa. For the side deck, we have the going first cards, 1 IO, and 3 Featherstorm. Featherstorm is really crazy, but you could also run Judgment in this spot. IO should be banned, there's not really anything else to say about this card. The going second cards versus combo. What you side of these 6 is very deck specific, obviously. Other cards you could put in this slot are droplets, bird strike, or just additional copies of anything you see here. I do like having a variety of different cards though, as generally you don't want to see like 2 nib in a hand, but a nib and a ruler is much better. I apologize if there's a jump cut in the video there. Something I forgot to say about these are cards like Mine and Ruler. Droplets and Strike are just nuts in this deck, as you can just drop them, then make a giant Zeus very easily. Type aggro cards. 1 Dark Simorgh, 1 Duster, 1 Pank, and 2 Evenly. Dark Simorgh is your end phase summon against back row decks. Duster is Duster. Pank is insane, and Evenly is just a blowout against certain decks going second. Losing your battle phase to Evenly isn't ideal sometimes, so maybe something else would be better. It also isn't great if they side Lancia. You shouldn't be siding Lancia against this deck, as it does nothing to the birds, but still some people will do that, so be aware of it. One final disclaimer, I just built the deck on the Monday prior to the regional, and have only played 3 events with it, so my opinions are subject to change. I love talking theory, so if you have anything you wanted to say, please leave a comment down below. Thanks Thanks for watching, and do all the algorithm stuff, like ring the like bell and smash the notification button.